Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Alberto Calderon, and we had to say goodbye to Oti, but that's fine. We got a new co-host, Notice, with us today. Sorry, I can't. Are you? I'm friend of Ezra. I'm friend of Ezra. Oh, Oti, how you doing? Welcome back.
Hi, I'm doing good. I couldn't hear the music. Could you hear it?
I might have forgotten to hear it.
Okay.
Oh, no, I need to. Sorry, that Notice gone.
Naughty, no.
We'll be talking about Naughty in a little bit. But Oti, another week, another episode of Ahsoka came and went. You said it, you've watched it like 4 times already, 3.5 on my side, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking about it. But
every day when I get back to work, I eat, and then I sit on my couch. Watch Ahsoka. The same episode I've watched 3 times before, and it's kind of a weird, sad life, but this is fine.
No, it's fine. I don't think it's that weird because this episode, deemed it been watched so many times, but we'll get into it. But before we start, everyone that's with us today, thanks for being here. Make sure to like our video, and if you're watching us for the first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new episodes when they drop on Saturday. Leave us a comment down below if you're watching this later on the recap. And of course, if you're listening to the other podcast, let us know their review, rating, Twitter, all the social media. Let us know. But Oti, what have you been doing this week? Before we jump, any other Star Wars activities?
Watching Ahsoka.
All right, that's good enough.
I started reading Tales of Light and Life.
Oh, all right. How did you get to Martha Row? Are you a Martha Row?
No, I did the most me thing possible. I read the first mini chapter of the first story, and that was it.
That doesn't count that you've been reading.
I started it. I started reading the book. You're right. I've been consistent. Yeah, I made a bad choice because I started reading it and I was like very sleepy, but I was like in my bed. It was right next to me, so I was like, and I wasn't like in the mood for it, but I like fell asleep when the second chapter starts. And then I left it in my nightstand. I was like, I'll get back to it. Haven't gone back to it.
All right, so you're with Axel Greylark.
Yeah, but I always do this with series and books. I usually watch like the first episode and wait a couple of weeks, and then I started watching Foundation.
Okay,
the same thing. Watch the first episode, and I want to watch the rest, but I just haven't gotten around to do it.
Yeah, I gotta start watching Foundation. I watched the first season of Invasion, the other Apple TV show. I gotta watch the second season. That it's okay. It's kind of weird. It's kind of I'm started. Let me finish it. But the second season seems a little bit different than the first one, so I'll get into it. But yeah, I just finished that at some point between now and when Ahsoka ends, and then we'll do our review here. Mm-hmm. I've been reading this. I started reading Crimson Climb by E.K. Johnston. I'll say I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying it. It's very good so far. I didn't know where it took place.
Can you say when it takes place?
Yeah, as soon as you open the book, It might be on the synopsis.
Did the book come out, or is that like a review?
It comes out October 10th.
Okay.
But I'm not sure when. That's fine. I don't know when the embargo ends, or that I can talk about it, but it basically takes place right after she and Han get separated on Coronet Spaceport in Solo. Okay. And then it goes from there. So basically, while Han is having his adventure in the movie, this is happening to Kira. So
they may be like.
So I think that's where it's going to end when they have that meeting. I think I got like 60 pages left. So between today and tomorrow, probably tomorrow, I'll finish it. If I have time to read a little bit today, I'll finish tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
All right. Before we start officially, Oti, who's out there today?
Currently we have Tony.
Tony, what are you doing?
And Alan, he confirms that the music was not played.
There we go. And we got music now. There you go. Oh, they can do it there. Let me just do it again. I'm gonna just record it. All right, that's enough. All right, okay, so before we go into Ahsoka, let's do a little Star Wars news in that section that we call Star Wars News. And the big Star Wars news, and by big, I guess Jabba the Hutt size or whatever, is this report. During an interview with Josh Horowitz, screenwriter, David S. Goyer, better known for Dark Knight, Man of Steel, and a bunch of other movies, revealed that he wrote a Star Wars script for a movie to be directed by Guillermo del Toro. This was about 5 or 6 years ago, but Lucasfilm was going through some behind-the-scenes stuff, but that there is some very cool artwork for it, and Guillermo del Toro went on his social media to confirm this and said that the only thing he can add was a few letters, J and 2 B's. Goyer also wrote a scriptment for an Origin of the Jedi movie that was to take place 25,000 years in the past. Sounds similar to the James Mangold Dawn of the Jedi movie. And I see that Ott is doing his leans, which is going to be interesting. So when this news, or this report, I guess, kind of came out a few days ago, I'm like, oh no, what's going on? How did we miss this? A few weeks ago, I said I would love to see a Guillermo del Toro Star Wars movie. And as I started thinking about it, wasn't this old news? Didn't he said a while back that he wanted to do a Jabba the Hutt gangster movie in the style of The Godfather? And then I think we're just recycling old news. I still want to see it. But Otti, what's your response to this? Or your thoughts, I guess?
We already knew this! And people are acting like, what did they take away from us? We knew this happened. Yeah. We knew there was a Guillermo del Toro Underworld movie that never happened. Right around the time Last Jedi came out, like I think it was like 6 years ago or something. And now we have to act upset again. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was one of those. I'm not going to hide it. I'm like, what the hell, Guillermo del Toro? And when I started just going through more reports and stuff, and when they mentioned Java, or when I went JBB, okay, that's Jabba the Hutt, of course. And then it started dawning on me. It's like, yeah, we kind of knew this already. It's good. I don't know.
I'll just say this. I adore Guillermo del Toro. I freaking love him. I think he's one of the best creative minds. How he's always like a champion of different art styles. Mm-hmm. You know, he's a big champion of animation.
Yeah.
And, you know, all the things he does with his movies. But I have a feeling that a Guillermo del Toro movie, I think it will go one of two ways. And I don't think I love either way. Mm-hmm. The first one is Disney gets involved and they're like, no, you have to do a Star Wars movie, not a Guillermo del Toro movie. Or the other thing that happens is that we get a Guillermo del Toro movie and people freak out because what the hell is this?
Yeah. And imagine a stop motion animation Star Wars. People would just go nuts. Yeah.
So I'm not really like bummed that this happened. I like to see where Guillermo, like if he clearly wanted to do this. So like if, you know, everyone was on board and he was going to do this, I'm not going to be the one like on the corner like, oh, okay. But, you know, the Star Wars Underworld isn't really my thing. So I'm, like, not really sad this didn't happen. Mm-hmm. But if it ever happens, like, cool, I'll be there. But I'm not, like, I won't be, like, the most excited person about it.
Yeah, I think it just kind of adds to the thought out there that all these Star Wars movies that either got announced or were supposed to be announced and then they canceled them and it didn't happen. There's troubles at Lucasfilm. So we just kind of add to that kind of noise out there.
But it's are they like not supposed to negotiate with anyone unless it's 1,000%? Like that's not how Hollywood works. That's not how any studio works. Like, I'm sorry, and yes, they have fumbled the ball 1,000 times by announcing directors, and then it never pans out. But like in this case, like it didn't happen for a reason. Maybe they didn't feel comfortable with the script. Maybe they didn't feel comfortable with the direction. I don't know. But
yeah, those are things I don't care about. I just give me the movie or the TV show on the screen, and that's what I care about. Behind the scenes, negotiations, whatever. Just give me a product that's worthwhile. Because if a lot of these other productions had actually gone into production and then they sucked, then people were going to be the other way. Why didn't you pull back? Why didn't you just cancel this before? It's like, there's no win-win. So I would love to see Guillermo, but I'm in that same boat that if he does have full control, then it might just veer to something completely different, and then that's what we don't want.
And like Kathleen Kennedy is always a bad guy. Like when she doesn't pull the plug and people don't like the project, that's her job. She's the one she has to make the difficult calls. And when she makes the difficult calls, that raging bitch. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So like, come on, like, ya está.
All right.
Estoy hablando español ya.
Yeah, when you start with the Spanish, we gotta move on to the next.
Hola, topic. Roberto, ¿qué es la que hay?
Oh, there he is. Roberto's doing some nice. He had some nice art that he's posting on Twitter. It's pretty cool. Check it out.
He's been working on things, and it's been a while since I've seen like a Roberto piece that blows me away.
All right. With that said, let's go to what we're here, and that's to talk about Ahsoka on Star Wars on TV. Star Wars on TV.
Ahsoka Tano.
More leaning. You're excited. You're giddy. I'll let you go in a minute, but this episode, I love episode 5. That was something beautiful, right? But it was very nostalgic. We loved it because of that nostalgia feeling. But this episode 6, at least for myself, it brought back that cinematic feeling that we were talking about the first few episodes. It felt totally new. And just having Thrawn and Ezra, which is that's the show, right? We got to find Thrawn, we got to find Ezra and figure out what's going on. We'll keep going. I wish this series was actually 10 or 12 episodes, because now it's when, here we go. And we only have 2 left. And I'll keep going, but you're very excited. Talk to me about Ahsoka episode 6. And
I'm so excited, but a very important person has joined the chat. Hi, Mo!
Oh, Mo. How's our primo?
Oh my god, Alberto. This is how I'll explain my reaction to this episode and how I feel about it. Tony and I have an unspoken rule. It's kind of spoken, but where we don't text each other during the episodes. At 9:00, it's lights out. Like, I text my girlfriend, like, "Hey, it's me time. We'll talk later." We watch the episode, and around 10, we text each other, like, "Hey, what do you think? Oh, this was cool. This was weird." Like, we do that. We were texting each other throughout the entire episode.
Oh wow!
Like, we first started texting because my Apple TV broke down when the episode was like, I turned it on, and whenever I was gonna click the Disney Plus app, it scrolled down, and this is weird. They tried it with my phone. It did the same thing. I couldn't get it to work, so it took me a couple of minutes to get it started. And the minute the dead whales showed up, I texted Tony, like, this is super trippy, and we just kept on texting.
Dude, this episode from the beginning, just the visuals, and we'll go into Ahsoka's and Huyan's little speech in a minute, but just seeing the star whales in hyperspace was just a delight.
That was cool.
All those rainbow colors and the way they move their tentacles in the back was just so fluid and so trippy. And of course, then the Eye of Sion coming out of hyperspace with all that trail. I could have ended right there.
The Eye of Sion is different, but I love how the intergalactic hyperspace is. It's like a very Star Wars thing where it's the same thing that we've always seen, but they just had like this little thing. We just got like this rainbow line going around, and intergalactic space travel.
Is that because of the whales? Is it because it's another galaxy? I don't know.
No, it's cool.
Did you like the little on the nose long time ago in a galaxy far, far away?
I liked it. I really loved it. It's the kind of thing I totally get if people like don't like it. I think it's very winky wink.
Yeah.
But it worked, and having it cut directly to the episode title "Far, Far Away" I thought was perfect. Like, just quickly, I love how it ties into what Peridea is, which is like this tale, this folkloric tale. So it kind of works in that way of, we're gonna tell this story.
Yeah, because Balin has been kind of hinting to it. All these stories that we hear from the Jedi when we're younger, all these. First time I heard that, I'm like, okay, a little too on the nose for me, but now it works. I don't care too much about it. And this History of the Galaxy parts 1, 2, and 3, people already have all their theories. They talk about original trilogy when Ahsoka said the first one is the better one. No, it's a prequel trilogy because it's in sequence. It's all fun and games.
I mean, I think the first one is the sequel trilogy because it's the best. It's the number one. Well, I thought that was very fun. Filoni clearly having fun with the tropes and how fans talk. I saw a couple of people talk about this, and I felt the exact same way when she's like, I don't want to hear those stories. I'm like, no,
shut up.
Tell her those stories.
Don't cry. Just give me all those.
Yeah.
It was a great scene. Go ahead.
Also, a very winky wink, like you're getting an origin of everything movie. Like, be patient.
Yeah. That's gonna be interesting to see how it all ties up, and if Fu Yang is involved in that movie, which people are kind of hoping that he's not everywhere. The connective tissue.
I tweeted that out. I think that'd be super fun, like super fun. Remind me at the end of this. I have a super wild theory that's like a 1%.
All right, I have a speculation here. Let me just add it.
Okay.
Otis wild theory. Sorry if you can hear my keyboard.
So Otis 1% theory.
So before we get to your 1% theory, so all the hyperspace. First, also Ahsoka talking with Hu Yang, still kind of not trusting Sabine and her choices, even though she went through her trials, I guess, and kind of let go of her guilt of not saving Anakin. She still has, that's a choice that Sabine made by herself or for her because she wants to save Ezra. We could have ended this already. And Hu Yang's like, yeah, but no Ezra, right? And then, just tell me those stories. And it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to play to anything, but one of those stories might have to do with Peridea. Maybe once they get there, Ahsoka has a little bit more knowledge. But I was very surprised because they've been saying for a couple of weeks, this other galaxy, that's where the Star Wars go, the Purgos. This is their migratory route. So, of course, let's go. No, they go there to die. They don't come back.
Peridea is a graveyard.
Yeah, and then we have all those dead whales instead of the ring around the planet, just dead Star Whales carcasses, which was a very trippy thing to see. And just kept going with some Night Sisters, Oti, which look extremely creepy but perfect.
Again, from the dead whales on, I could not believe what I was seeing. Like, I'm not Alberto, this is the best Star Wars thing I've ever seen. I'm not joking. Like, I felt the same way I felt after watching Last Jedi. I was like, what happened? Like, what is this? Like, but Last Jedi was like a storytelling jump. This was like a lore and what we can do with Star Wars. Filoni can do what he wants. I don't care. I'm in. Like, I'm on board.
I'm getting there. I got like 1 foot on the bus. I'm not all the way in the Filoni bus. I mean, but the episode, I'll be with you that this is the best Ahsoka episode we've seen. One of the best TV episodes that we've seen in Star Wars. It's hard for me right now to kind of put it somewhere, but I saw it like 3.5 times, so that has something to say.
It's and every time I've seen it, I'm just like prefacing it because we're gonna talk about a lot of things. And I'll be like, I love that. I loved everything and how it combined. I just can't put it into words. Like, I keep saying love. I'm obsessed with it. I
have a lot of notes, so I'm trying to bring this into something that makes sense. But Night Sisters, because we knew that Morgan Elsbeth was a Night Sister, but seeing the Great Mothers, just the image, because this is supposed to be a planet no one's here. We're just expecting to see Thrawn and Ezra living together as roommates in the Star Destroyer. But as soon as, we're getting a signal beacon from down there. Okay, let's go. And they're just there, like, what the hell are we going to see now?
I think that's also part of it. Like, I was expecting to find Thrawn and Ezra listening to Pink Floyd in a room. Like, hey, we're best buds now. Yeah. And it's, like, not that at all. Like, it's 1,000% not what I thought this was going to be.
Yeah. Last week, which alien species is going to be there? Is it the Grease? Or the Yuuzhan Vong? Someone else? Oh, they're going to be fighting? No. There's no one. There's nothing to do with it. It's
Thrawn and three Night Sisters.
Yeah. But that's enough. that's enough. Just a visual. Those Night Sisters look freaking great. Design that's not easy to pull.
And Ezra's hanging out with crab people.
Ezra's just let me hear.
That maybe I could have guessed.
Yeah, he's gonna be with some weird alien kind of animal creatures, because that's his thing. And he didn't have the same outfit as before. He'll probably wear it by the end of this, but whatever. So, talking about the Night Sisters, and then it reeks of Jedi. And I know everyone's talking about it now, but were you surprised that they went straight to Sabine just because everyone looked at Sabine, or is this misdirection? Because Thrawn keeps saying, Baylan's a Jedi. He's a Jedi.
It's not a misdirection. They obviously met Sabine. They look at her. Like, she reeks of Jedi. They tie her up. Why would they mean Baylan? And then later on, by the way, if people are not paying attention, when Thrawn refers to Baylan as a Jedi, they go like, ugh.
Yeah. No, I don't mean, because I don't think they knew who. They just knew that it reeked of Jedi. And then the other people looked at Sabine. And then I think the Night Sisters were after like,
I think people are just looking for something to pull.
We got to pull the threads. Anyway, the little 3 balls with the red strings were pretty cool. Just pushing. We had a deal. Where's Ezra? I'm surprised how quickly we got Thrawn and how much Thrawn we got. I thought I was betting that we're gonna get him for the last 5 minutes, and it's gonna be the 2 shots from the trailer. And he was a big player.
The minute they say you have to wait, I was like, oh, he's showing up soon. He's coming. I love the drama of these bad guys in Star Wars. Yeah. Like, what was he doing? Like,
he's like 2 miles out.
Something just entered orbit. Quick, let's make an entrance. Like,
he couldn't be that far. Or he was like right there.
Were they doing like groceries or something? Oh, sorry.
Fixing their helmet. Enoch says it's not the gold that I like.
Enoch hadn't finished shining his
polishing. Yeah. But let's talk a little when we see the Night Sisters, they take Sabine, and then you get a few minutes with Baylan and Shin. And Shin is like, okay, here we go, because this alliance with Thrawn, this is it. And Baylan's like, no, this it's a cycle. The Jedi fall, the Empire comes. We gotta put a stop to this. Thrawn, this is just a fleeting kind of win if we end up with him. I'm looking for something new.
The beginning.
Yeah, what is he freaking trying to do?
I am obsessed with every single line that came out of Baylan's mouth in this episode. Yeah. Just how he it's this silly Star Wars thing of people talking about wild things, and it's very I think it feels even like kind of Shakespearean. Like, he starts that line that this is a land of dreams and madness. Children's stories come to life. Like, what are you talking about? But it's not just because Ray Stevenson is so phenomenal.
He's so good.
I buy him completely as this character. Like, oh, it's just a space wizard evil. Like, I buy it. Like, he is this, and I love that relationship between him and Shin. I think we see a little bit more of that in this episode. It's I think it's way more in line with the Jedi and Master and Apprentice way of being. I adore this scene now. He just like sets up like, I'm walking in a myth. Like, what is this? And in this episode, we also get like characters saying Star Wars things, like how Star Wars works to the camera, like him talking about the cycle. This is something I always tell my friends when they're like, "Oh, it's the same as the last trilogy." Like, yeah, it's happening again. This is what this series is like. Everything is constantly happening again. And then Thrawn has another line that's, telling the Star Wars rules. But yeah, I love the scene.
So at this part, because people on social media started deciphering little kind of runes and things, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But at this point, when he's talking about ending the cycle and starting something new, because history repeats himself, so okay, what is he talking about? What is he looking for? And I just started thinking about the Bane trilogy, and I've only read the first book or listened to the first book. And there's a point where Bane he's extremely powerful, but he doesn't have that connection to the dark side that some of the other kind of Sith wannabe have. And he goes just to seek knowledge. And he finds a Sith holocron from Darth Revan. And he just pours into it. And that's where he learns and he starts deciding about the rule of two and all that. But that's what kind of drives him. So I started thinking at that point, is that something that he's trying to find? Maybe it's a Sith holocron or something. Because we know they're not Jedi anymore. They're not Sith. At least they haven't mentioned any of that. There's some type of dark side users, if we want to call them that. But that was kind of, what can the mothers be afraid of? Because Shin, at the end, is kind of like, why do we want this power? The mothers don't want to be here. They want to just get out. And he's like, yeah, it's a power they don't understand. Also reminded me of Into the Dark, when they find the three kind of statues and they say, yeah, the Sith, there's too much dark side here. The Sith couldn't handle this, so they just put everything in those three statues and ended up being the Drain Gear. So all those thoughts were going through my mind, but it's still not criticism, because we only have 2 episodes left and we still don't know what Balon's kind of plan is. I hope he doesn't meet his end by the end of this season, because I want this to keep going forward. Are we kind of holding too tight? I mean, Filoni holding too tight to that secret that we don't have enough time to explore it?
I don't think so. Okay. You can see it as there's 2 episodes left. I'm seeing it like this is the first episode of a mini arc. We're getting like a 3 arc story, the Peridea arc of a series. So no, I think as long as they reveal something in the next episode, and the next episode doesn't, unless the finale is like 2 hours long.
Don't expect that.
I still see this playing out, and like again, I've said it since before the show started. There's a movie coming out, and not everything is gonna get resolved. We're not beating Thrawn like in this show.
That's always
gonna happen. So I think the focus is gonna be on stopping Balin, and Thrawn is just gonna get away.
So that's what not worries me, and I'm not even talking about the strike. That's different. So let's say the strike wasn't going on, and this movie comes out 2 years from now, 2025, 2026, whatever. Are we getting something in between that's going to tie to it? Either Mando season 4, Ahsoka season 2, because I don't want to wait like 4 years to know what happens after Ahsoka. Again, Skeleton Crew might have something to do with it.
I think if we're getting something, it's Mando 4. I don't think Ahsoka 2 comes out before the movie. I don't see that happening. Because we know the movie's coming out. We don't know if Ahsoka's getting renewed. So they have to go through that, then start shooting, and then the question is, when is that movie happening?
No idea. There was 3 movies supposedly kind of unplanned, and we don't know which one comes.
Less than an hour ago, we were talking about how they're not, the movies are not panning out. What's going on? And now movies are panning out way too fast. We need shows in between.
no, it's not one. Anyway, I just want it. I want it now because I love this story so much that I want it.
I mean, the strike was something that happened, and I'm glad it's gonna affect everything, definitely.
And I'm fine with that. Let's deal with that first. That's more important than all these shows and movies.
What would worry me is that they rushed the movie, that maybe they're doing the same thinking that you are. They're like, oh, it's way too much time. Let's rush this. Let's put it out, and then we get a TV movie or something.
I want to say that they learned their lesson and they're professionals, but it's Hollywood and money talks. And if people lose interest, they're gonna rush it.
There is not an industry more reactionary than.
I've seen. Before we keep going and kind of change spaces a little bit.
There's a lot in the chat. I'm sorry, guys.
Let's find 1 or 2 things for that. What are people saying about some of the comments right now?
Okay. Roberto loved the far, far away thing. I'm glad he did. Let me see. I'm just trying not to go to things that Tony's talking about how Thrawn is a drama queen, and I totally agree. Roberto's saying that Balin feels like a Magneto kind of character, and I kind of do. I think he's maybe more on the good side than Magneto, but I don't know. I'm fascinated by this character. I already pre-ordered the Black series, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Anyone's thinking. But I especially that line when he's like he misses the idea of the Jedi. Like it's even sad. Like I think he wants to hold on to hope. Like yes, there's a bigger purpose, there's a noble purpose, but I think he's like, nah, nothing matters. Like
yeah, I want to spend some time on it when we get there. So talking about Thrawn, the drama queen. First, we get Sabine in her cell trying to use the Force, and for a minute they got me. I'm like, okay, she's moving the stones, but then just a big ass Star Destroyer Chimera comes on scene. I forgot to say that we went to Minas Tirith. We have Minas Tirith there.
This episode, I've said it a billion times. It had a lot of Middle Earth vibes to it. Filoni's a Tolkien fan, but I really liked that. Like there were a lot of little moments that felt like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Dang. One note. And it just brought everything down, and Thrawn made his entrance with all these stormtroopers that we'll talk about in a minute.
I love like the loud noises going out on while he walks, like attention.
Yeah.
And that was cool.
Yeah. The Thrawn chanting was a little they're chanting his name. But...
I loved it because it felt like Middle Earth, like
exactly.
So
it was very Uruk-hai. I was waiting for. But it was so great. And just one little note, all these stormtroopers look different. At first, when it was that long shot, I'm like, wait, are these First Order stormtroopers and we're going to connect to it? I'm like, I know where they're in another galaxy. How the hell did they just come over here with new designs? And before we talk about Enoch, is he dead? Is everyone there just like Marok? We'll go into that. But Thrawn, that we said, he's going to look ridiculous because he's a human painted blue. He looked ridiculous the first time he came on screen, but 2 seconds afterwards, I bought it as soon as he opened his mouth and whatever he said, the dream of other people are going to become real.
What was once a distant dream has become a frightening reality for those who dare to oppose us. That's such a cool first line.
Yeah.
I can imagine him like walking all that way. He's like, what am I going to say?
Just going over it on his head. I can't forget. I love everything about Lars Mikkelson's delivery, how he played Thrawn. Everyone that's been complaining about his physical appearance and go screw themselves. This is Thrawn 100%. I love that he, very calculating as Thrawn is, he didn't just start talking. He took his time when he wanted to respond. I love it. Wasn't this part, but later when
he's talking to Morgan,
she said so. He's like, fucking bitch.
That line, our numbers have been dwindled since
during
our exile. So no.
We should send more troops than just 2. But I said, you just shut the fuck up. I haven't waited 10 years for you to tell me how to deal with my troops.
He truly is like very good. I will say like the physical appearance of him was weird to me because he doesn't look how he looks in the animation and what we've seen of him in the not the art books, the covers of the books. But just every time he opens his mouth, I'm just like sucked into it. So like just sensational.
Yeah,
I think it's a guy in blue with CGI red eyes.
With the red eyes, which everyone's going to look weird. I think it's also the lighting. That first scene is very bright, and that kind of highlights everything. The other scenes, I didn't have too much problem. It carried on for you.
In the dark, it works better.
Yeah, it worked a lot better. No. But just that delivery when he, talk to me about this loose thread. Hi, brother. I'm Balon. This is Balon's Skull. You must be General Balon's Skull of the Jedi. He knows everyone. Freaking, that's him.
We had lunch together in Coruscant that day.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I kind of legit feel like he was excited to see Sabine. When did they say,
yes.
Sabine Wren. There's a familiar name. Like I think he's kind of excited. Like, finally.
So
not these weirdos. And he was like kind of a fan of Sabine. He was like fascinated by her, so that was cool.
Oh, it was great. Everything about seeing Thrawn. And I said I'm not the biggest Thrawn fan, especially in the books. Like Rebels Thrawn is my Thrawn, and I'll take criticism of everyone if they want to. So this just played right into it.
It's interesting because I prefer book Thrawn, but I hate reading him.
It's just
I just love that in the books there's so much nuance to that character that I think it's like better. And in Rebels he's treated more like a straight up villain. It's okay. Like it's all Thrawn. It's all Thrawn.
I like Thrawn in the books. I don't like how everything else is written. I just don't like Timothy.
I agree.
Writing style.
I like
Thrawn
the character.
Is always like compelling. Yeah.
I like the character, not the journey of getting to know it.
Well, a character that we don't know anything about, just that he has a very, some people say weird, some people say menacing. He's a gold face with a little frowning Enoch, and this whole battalion of undead stormtroopers, and we're gonna
maybe
call
undead,
it.
We don't know.
Are they undead?
I'm thinking.
Is it smoke? Is it just like Marok, or is there like a dead body inside?
I don't know. I'm leaning to the undead angle because, again, thinking about the movie, it's cool. We always need like a different kind of stormtrooper, and you know what makes Thrawn more than just like a new Tarkin? Well, he has a dead army.
Very Lord of the Rings also.
He's gonna Aragorn the galaxy.
He's gonna go.
By the way, I just want to say Thrawn's entrance, like the whole of it, even from feeling the vibrations, then seeing the ship, then having it do reverse cowgirl or something. It's probably one of the best Star Wars introduction to a character. It was so cool. And seeing the Chimera just completely destroy with new parts, the engines don't work. Like it's so cool.
I can't believe I saw people complaining about the volume look of it in this episode. I'm like, where? Tell me where.
There's a scene that it felt like very obvious to me, but I just didn't care enough about it. It's when Thrawn comes out and you see where the lines are, and it's fine. Like,
well, it didn't matter to me because I didn't notice. Because I was just so, again, it's the story, but I didn't. It was great. I love everything. I made a dumb joke about it on Twitter, and it's been my most popular tweet of probably the past 3 years. And I don't want to be remembered for this. Well, that's okay. But all right, so then Thrawn says, okay, so per my agreement with the Great Mothers, let's empty the catacombs and bring everything up here. Yeah, it's going to take 3 rotations.
An acceptable time frame.
Yeah. I thought first you were going to say, no, hurry up. I want to leave this freaking place.
I'm tired of this shithole.
Are they just more dead stormtroopers, or are these dead Night Sister that he's bringing?
I don't know.
Because at first I thought it was Night Sister. If he made a deal with the Mothers to call someone to come pick him up, it's because he's going to take dead Night Sister with him.
Maybe
but then everyone, this is more dead stormtroopers because his numbers have dwindled. I'm like, I don't know.
No,
just weird.
I think it's a favor for the Night Sisters for sure. So maybe they want to like repopulate Dathomir, which would be like a very weird side story to introduce.
I hope not. I even see Tony's comment there. I just saw someone earlier today talking about, well, Ezra had a promise to the Night Sister and he has to pay the bills or pay the dues. Like, I think that's too much to bring into this now. It's a weird side story from Rebels. No.
Unless Filoni's gonna do like an animated series and Ezra's gonna spin off into that, like, okay, but I don't see that happening right now.
Yeah, no. I don't even know where to go. Okay, so they let Sabine go. They bring Sabine to Thrawn, and he's like, "Oh, Sabine Wren, how you doing? Where's Ezra? If you survive, Ezra's fine.
You're hot now." I love the scene. We go back to Sabine's choice. I love that Thrawn is like kind of angry with her. He's like, "You really gambled the fate of the galaxy on this?" I also love how he's like, when she mentions Ezra, and he says how that singular focus will reshape the galaxy.
Reshape the galaxy,
because he knows he's about to go there and kill everyone.
It's I love Star Wars, obviously, but it's like I wish we didn't know that he can't go and kill everyone. He'll go and he'll cause chaos, but he's not gonna.
I mean, I I think there's room to surprise us on how far this war goes, because there are 30 years in between that we don't really know what happens. So, like, even if it's like it fought in a couple of systems, I still think it still gets to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but the way he talked about it, and when he's like, he told Sabine if she reached the safety of her galaxy for that singular focus, you wouldn't know anything about it. You wouldn't understand. Perhaps not. We got the perhaps there. I just Thrawn. I do not think so much as okay, you can go. Balon made a deal with you. We'll honor your promise. We'll give you the whereabouts, our latest intel on Ezra's whereabouts. You're free to go.
I love that we get a little bit of the Thrawn, like, good guy, but also the Empire arrogance, where he's like, I'm leaving in 3 days. If you want to come with Ezra, you can come with Ezra. Yeah. There's no problem. If you're not here, I'm leaving anyways. I'm not waiting for you. So it's kind of like, do whatever you want. You're not going to stop me. So, like, if you, hey, you can have my room. It's fine.
Yeah, it was very, it's still because you couldn't just forget about them. Just go. No, I'm just going to put my stuff. I'm just going to kill everyone. But go follow them and just kill them if you want. But I'm leaving you.
He does the same thing with Balon. Hey, you want to kill them? Go kill them.
Yeah.
If all 4 of you want to come on board, you can come on board. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I hated the Howler. So weird. Look, I'm just joking. It's just this alligator face with bat ears. You gotta say "Tota" when you wanted to sit down. My wife's dying. Sabine riding a battle.
Old Alan comment. No, I love the Howler. Like, I didn't really think much about it, but I love that little comedy beat with them after the fight.
Oh, I loved it.
It reminded me. I just want to tell a quick story. It reminded me of my dog. We were once outside, and a Great Dane came running at us. Like, it just wanted to play. But number one, please leash your dogs. Like, not every dog likes other dogs. So anyways, this Great Dane comes running at us, and my dog is terrified of everything. So she just, like, starts running, and, you know, she rips the leash off my hand, and I like, kind of grab the dog and calm it down. The owner comes, puts the leash on it, they leave. And then I go upstairs, and I look at my dog, and I'm like, you thought we were in mortal danger, and you just left me there. Like, what the hell?
You coward. You left me. You're a coward, Howler. Don't send me out. It was great, and I love even when he goes to drink water, and like, really? You're just thirsty? Oh, that's a rock. You're embarrassing yourself. Like, perfect. Sabine to a T.
And Sabine's fight with the Raiders was super cool. The music in the scene felt like a batucada.
It was a great scene. It showed how much Filoni loves his Japanese imagery. From Enoch to now these guys. Yeah. It was samurai armor full on. At first, the first time I saw it, and I was like, why did they stop shooting and just went with their staff? Why didn't they just keep shooting? But everything was getting blocked by Beskar, I guess, so it wasn't working.
Not everyone's an American, Alberto. Not everyone shoots at everything.
Oh, Sam. But it was a great scene. A little bit more for with using the lightsaber, just kicked ass and let the last one go because he wasn't going to do anything. And then she started yelling at the Howler.
I'll just invite everyone. Watch the scene and focus on the music when she ignites the saber. It's super cool.
All right. I'll have to go check that out on my fourth view or whatever. So before she goes and finds Ezra, I guess she starts talking to before you come in. So we have Balon and Shin. They're following her. First, where's Shin going? I think her mentality is changing a little bit. When Thrawn was like, go kill them. And she's like, we're not going to honor your promise. What's going on? He didn't even say anything.
She's like the anger embodied. And now she's like, wait, we're not honoring our promises?
Yeah. It's interesting. That's why that relationship between Balon and Shin is still so entertaining to watch, and then still kind of guessing what's going to happen next. And then we had that great conversation between the two of them when they find all the dead Raiders. And she goes, oh, do you miss it? Oh, the Jedi Order. I miss the idea of it, not the corruption or whatever he says afterward. And talking about Ezra, oh, did you knew him that she's so focused on it? No, he's a Boken Jedi. He was too young. He was those broken Jedi's training the wild.
Mm-hmm.
Just an offhanded comment. Oh,
very dramatic Jedi way to put it.
Yeah. Oh, like
me? No, I train you to be something more.
Love. That's one of my favorite things because it goes back to what I've been kind of saying for weeks. Is he trying to not start a Jedi Order, but trying to make something new and her as his apprentice, and maybe he finding more. We just love that he still has that mentality, and it goes to, like you said before, that there's something about him just missing the Jedi. When the first couple of episodes, when they tell him, "Oh, go kill Ahsoka," he's like, "Oh, it's gonna be a shame. There's so few Jedi left." I think he still has that compassion or something there for the Jedi in general. That's very interesting. I want to finally figure out what's going on. So I just love all that.
Like, there's a cliche, like every villain is the hero of their story, but I truly think I think he thinks he's doing the noble thing. I think he really thinks he's doing something that must be done.
Yeah.
And it's kind of unfortunate for him.
But it goes then to what are the Night Sisters running away from, right? At the beginning, we learned that this was the birthplace of the Night Sisters. Basically, it's what Morgan Elsbeth says when they get there. And they're running away. There's something there that they don't want to deal with. And he's like, oh, just a power that they don't understand. Something's calling to me. And then what is it?
Can't you hear it? There's something there. Can't you see it?
Yeah. No, it's not too loud.
But I see bandits.
The enemy of our friend is our friend. For now. He's going to kill all of them. So then we're all thinking, what's his plan? What's he going to do? New Order, get some Sith holograms or whatever. Someone on Twitter went, because in this Night Sister monastery or temple, wherever we were, there's a bunch of runes in the back. And I'm just going to read this. Is on Twitter. Tommy Wall is a person. He wrote I don't know what the hell he did. He deciphered the runes, and it says, "Praise Kujet, ruler of all. May his reign last for all." And then they couldn't decipher all time, for always, whatever. Kujet supposedly was an old Sifo Sith who established a great palace on Dathomir, which you can play that and do it here instead of Dathomir.
When you're playing Fallen Order, this is kind of information you learn. It's not really part of the story, so it's something I really didn't know about until I saw it. Like, who is that guy?
Yeah.
So interesting for sure. I think it's an Easter egg. I don't think we're gonna get into the Cepho. If we are, cool, but like reminder, like, no, we need intergalactic beings. No, we just learned that the Night Sisters are the intergalactic beings. So we'll see. I'm really not expecting that to play out.
Okay. I haven't played the game, so I don't know anything about the Cepho. Just when people like them, apparently. Every time that Cepho are mentioned, people, this is so interesting.
So if people don't know what the Cepho are, they are like ancient Force users that left temples around, and there's like the secret with them that the modern Jedi were trying to figure out, but they never kind of did. And then Jedi Survivor don't really follow up on that.
And we know that Filoni plays those video games and reads all the comics, so he's up to it.
We'll see.
Where the only thing that I lean on this a little bit, like I mentioned before, that I thought maybe he's looking for some ancient knowledge, be a Sith hologram or something. Maybe there's something there from all Dathomiri witches that they keep calling, that he's trying to get there. So that's the only thing that maybe, he's just trying to get more knowledge.
I keep thinking he's gonna get like a lightsaber or something, like Excalibur.
Do you put any stock into now? People are, a few weeks ago, it was his ring. He has that Mustafar ring, and now people are saying that he has a green Kyber crystal on his belt from his Jedi days. And
no,
you're looking too much into it.
What if he finds the Knights of Ren? They've been stranded here for some reason.
I mean, he has the same hair that the original Ren had, all that silver hair. So maybe he goes back. He's the original Ren. Let's talk about nothing. So they're lost in this place, trying to find something. The Howler is hitting a rock. You're embarrassing yourself. And this little hermit crab pops up. And it's like the trolls from Frozen. It's just the hard foods from
They're wearing little vests. They have button-down shirts. Like,
oh, the clothes are so awesome.
They look kind of like Amish or something. It's super weird.
Oh, it's weird Star Wars that I love. At first, I'm like, man, we just went from Thrawn, Night Sisters to Little Naughty, which makes sense, right?
We went from Enoch on that Stormtroopers, like resurrected blue guy, and now crap people with vests.
Yeah, little communities. They even had antennas on the top of their houses to watching cable TV.
Like a caserío here. Like,
a little pool in the back.
Yeah.
But I love it's again this weird Star Wars things. Weird. And then he sees the little Jedi symbol or rebellion symbol, I guess, and he's like, I'm Ezra Bridger.
Ezra Bridger.
Oh, you want to just go straight to the ending?
Yeah, let's talk about him. Let's talk about Jesus.
So this is, I tweeted out, and you...
This is the scene you didn't like?
I like, let me go through it. Because you very politely went on Twitter and told me to F off like 3 times.
I'm going to say it again, but I'm going to...
Okay. So, I liked the way... The only thing I didn't like, it's just that converse. I would have switched the hug first and then the conversation that they have. I was fine with when Ezra says, "Oh, I knew you would find me," and she turns around and she has that expression. I thought they were going straight to that hug, which was a great embrace that you do someone you'll be searching for 10 years, and then have that conversation. Well, you didn't tell me you were going. You always have a plan, but it's a bad plan. I thought that having that first and then the hug, if you've been looking for someone for 10 years, go across galaxies, you're not going to have a 2-minute conversation before. That's the only thing. Everything else about it makes sense.
She's technically been looking for him for like a week.
She's been missing him for 10 years.
I told this to Tony. Like, none of these characters felt like they've been stranded here for 10 years.
Okay, yeah.
Even Thrawn. Well, maybe because he's into dark magic now. But I don't know if that's like a storytelling thing for people who haven't watched the show. I think maybe it's more accessible to them if they don't know how long it's been. So, but I will give you that, like, the interactions between the characters did not feel like that. It worked. Like, I was telling this to my cousin like yesterday, like that is Sabine, that is Ezra. I have no doubt in my mind. Like, this is the continuation for this story. I'm not having to reconcile anything. But that part, I kind of agree with you.
There's something about Eman Stefani, I want to hopefully say his name right. His voice sounded just like Ezra for some reason. He's like,
perfect.
Whoa, this is Ezra.
That line when he's like, I'm dying to go home, like,
it broke my heart also. Because we know they don't have a way to get home right now.
No, and I'm dying to know what his reaction is going to be.
Yes.
Like, he just can't be happy with, like, I was stranded here for 10 years to keep this guy here, and to bring me back, you bring him back too. Like, that's not what this was about.
Yeah, that's why, wow, man, I kept saying for years, don't give me long seasons. I don't like long seasons. They just get bogged down. Give me 10 episodes. It's just extend. Well, again, we haven't seen the last 2 episodes. I might be just talking out my ass. But it's gonna, because he's like, can I just be glad that I found you? Let's not talk about it. But he's pushing a little bit. How do you get here? How do you find me? Let's go home. She's like, I don't want to mention anything.
Let's help them move.
Let's have the naughty get all their crap in their caravan.
And also, she's doing this thing where she's not telling him, but they have 3 days to get out of there.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.5.
Were you surprised or not surprised? Did it bother you? It didn't bother me. I didn't thought about it too much. Like, Ezra's right there. Thrawn couldn't find him from his big Star Destroyer. Oh, there he is. I see him right here.
No. I have no problems with this. I want to talk about what we think they've been doing.
That's your 1% theory?
No. I'm just like...
Yeah, what?
Like, no. What have they been doing? Like, I kind of think, like... I think there was like multiple facets to that relationship. Again, it's been 10 years. I highly doubt like Ezra just ran away and they never saw each other. And Thrawn was keeping tabs on him. I think Thrawn's a smart guy, so I think he knows that having Ezra on his side is advantageous. So I think at some point he tried to make it work between them. But yeah, like I don't know. Like I don't think Thrawn was looking for him because again, he's like, we kind of have a vague idea of where he was last.
Yeah. Do you think, how did his numbers dwindle? It's something that at first I'm like, well, yeah, everyone was basically dead on the Star Destroyer, going through hyperspace, all broken up. Some people, well, Ezra just killed everyone. I don't think that Ezra had anything to do with his dead stormtroopers. I think they just kind of were dead from the Battle of Lothal before they left.
It's been 10 years in a planet with apparently low resources.
Just been eating the nothing.
Oh.
I don't know. I want to see those conversations. Hopefully it's not like, yeah, Thrawn bad, Ezra good, and we haven't seen each other for 10 years. Maybe there's...
I was waiting for this to talk about this, to bring this up. I agree with Tony. I want a Timothy Zahn story. I think he talked about it. I think he's like, yeah, I have an idea of what happened in between. So
yeah, he did mention that he's not working on something, but had a story.
He's talked about this, like like in. I remember interviews of him saying like, I have ideas of how they can get out of it. Of course, Filoni's telling that story, but I think if we're gonna bridge that gap, just give it to Zahn, let him tell that story. I think he do a good job, and I think that's the only Thrawn story I'd be interested in reading, of him and Ezra here in Peridea. Because there's no space battles to go on and confuse
me. You just jumped in my comments, like, but all his books are about space battles. What is this? So I'm like, I don't want more. I said
finally,
it. And
story, character-driven story of Thrawn. Finally,
it will be interesting to see if Zahn can pull that off. He knows the character, obviously, but can he pull this type of stories? Not this intergalactic story battle with weird alien species. And all this political backstabbing.
I know you don't love Zahn. I don't love him either. But like, if we're told like, hey, we're telling that story in a book, who's gonna write it? It's gonna be Timothy Zahn. Like,
that's right. I know, and
it really should be him. Like,
okay, I'll let it go. I'm not gonna.
I mean, could Claudia Gray write a phenomenal book here? Of course she can, but it has to be him. Like I really don't want anyone.
I know that for Thrawn, it's either Timothy Zahn or Boss, which whatever. I'm kind of the opposite. Same with Filoni. Is the only one that can tell a Sabine story, even though a Ahsoka story. Give it to other people. But in this time period, the stories that is connecting, of course, it has to be Timothy Zahn, and maybe because it's not space battles, I'll enjoy it.
And he's been waving that flag, and we're basically about to adapt his story that kept Star Wars alive for a long. Let him write the book.
All right. When it comes out in 2025, I'll buy it. We'll talk about it here. We still have a show.
You know 2024. If High Republic is out, I'll buy it and read it.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me. This gets announced right after Ahsoka ends. New York Comic Con is coming soon. Can we get an announcement there?
New York Comic Con is coming. It's 1,000%. It's getting announced.
It might come out next year, and then all this complaint about what are we doing between Ahsoka and the movie. Here you go. Read about Thrawn and Ezra in Peridea.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong.
You are wrong.
With the exception of the High Republic and the Living Force that got announced, do we know of any Star Wars books coming out after next year? After this year, sorry.
Yeah. Not that I know of. So
we're bound
something.
for a wave of books.
Yeah. Comic-Con is coming soon, New York, so we'll see. I'll get it. All right. Great introduction again of Ezra. We finally found Ezra about years wait, and we found Thrawn. Someone else that found him was Ahsoka. And Thrawn was not pleased when he heard that another Jedi was coming. Is this the recently deceased Ahsoka Tano? Well, Balin told me he's a Jedi, so he's flawed.
I love again, this is what I was referring to. He's telling the Star Wars rules to Morgan. Morgan, if you do not see a body, the person is not dead.
That's 101. Come on. Everyone knows that. Oh, man. But he give it up again to Lars Mikkelsen. Just his delivery of everything. Because anyway, Ahsoka so bad. No, it's very...
He's like,
she was supposed to be dead.
If you see a whale, shoot it. I'll forgive your ignorance. Give me everything you know about this person. I want to know if we're going to see his reaction to being like, wait, this is Anakin's?
Yeah. Apprentice.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's like, tell me everything about her, master, this or that. Oh.
Following up on the threads of the story, it's interesting because he's just another one who could throw that in her face. Like, I knew your master. We worked together. We were co-workers.
We worked twice as Anakin as Vader. He could have killed me 20 times but the story was already written and I had to be alive for season 4, which is one of the things I didn't like about Thrawn alliances, because Vader would have killed him like 20 times in that Star Destroyer. But
I don't like that trilogy.
It's not good. I like the first one. The first one is my favorite Thrawn book, I think. But.
Oh no, I love Chaos Rising, even though that book soured me on Thrawn books.
Oh my! Chaos Rising is with Arlani, right? That's the one, and that's we don't get a lot of Thrawn in that book. It's all the other characters. Anyway, so very annoyed with Elsbeth, takes his time before answering, wants to know everything about Ahsoka, and he requires more Night Sister dark magic. Resurrect more stormtroopers, probably.
My only hope for this is that this doesn't turn into the Secret Invasion ending, where all of a sudden these people have superpowers and we're gonna have a big CGI fight. Like that's like my only fear.
Let's not talk about Secret Invasion. I've never been one to say superhero fatigue, but there was no reason for Secret Invasion. That show was first 2 episodes good. Other 4.
No, I have never seen a show like build, and just fumble it at the end like that. So I was really excited with that show, and then by the end it was like
she was there. Not Kira,
she was there.
You know.
And she was good.
Acting was fine. The story wasn't good. All right, so let's finish up.
Go ahead. I don't want to see Thrawn with green fire. Or maybe I do, and I just don't know it yet.
Instead of lightning, just green flames, green smoke coming out of his fingers. I have now the power. And he brings back Moff Gideon using Dark Sister magic. The clowns, I told you he wasn't dead. All right, so let's speculate a little bit. Let's start with your wild 1% theory.
Oh, it's a wild one. So, we know we're getting 3 new movies, right?
Yes.
We're getting Filoni's movie, we're getting Rey's movie, and we're getting the Dawn of the Jedi movie. So Filoni's movie, we think it's going to be the conclusion of this conflict. Cool. What if all these stories are connected? And how are these stories connected, you may ask? And I have the answer.
Okay.
So we know Baylan wants to stay here and find the beginning. So we think he wants to start from zero. He wants to build his own thing. What if the Dawn of the Jedi movie is that new beginning? What if we get
Baylan makes it all the way 10,000 years in the past?
No, not who's saying it's 10,000 years? Or well, they did say 10,000 years. Or maybe
just finish.
We're just seeing the origin of these new Jedi. Like
okay,
that's like the reveal at the end. Like, oh no, it's Baylan's thing, and then Rey's movie, right? How do we connect it back? It's the return of Baylan and these new people, and they're not technically Sith.
Okay,
they're just like something new that's coming, and I think everything, because this is like a biblical wasteland, there's nothing there, so all those it's like a biblical story, like the book of Genesis. Like I think all that could play in. It's not gonna happen, that's not what it is, but hey.
Even Enoch is a biblical name. It's like the father of Methuselah or something like that. I don't think that's
one of the chapters they ripped off the Bible for the Catholics, but yeah.
And even then the 3 mothers, the Night Sister mother, I get their name were like copied, like almost a 1-to-1 from some weird Greek mythology.
It's like Star Wars take things from mythology.
Yeah, but it was very obvious, which I don't care. I know anyway. So I don't think that's happening, at least for the Dawn of the Jedi movie. But I would love if Baylan and Shin stay in this galaxy after they find whatever hidden power is, looking for and stays there for 30 years or 40 now when we go back to Rey's movie, and he brings all these, let's just say dark side users, because we don't know. I just bring all these people back. That'll be interesting. I'll give you that one. I'll like that one. And it's a good way to connect it. And people have seen Ahsoka. They don't need to explain everything again.
Man, with Baylan, it's just like so heartbreaking because I think we all want to see that character go on, but you'd have to recast, and I don't want to recast. I don't know what the right answer is, and I don't get paid to make that choice. So.
Again, it all depends what happens this season. I hope that he doesn't die. I know we talked the first few episodes that we really thought he was going to die. Eventually, I thought he might be dead already.
I think he's gonna die. Like pretty firm.
If he doesn't, then I think you need to recast. Don't go CGI route, obviously. I think you can. I think, at least on my part, I'm like, we need to get over this hump of recasting even legacy characters.
Over under, he gets a cool new mask by the end of the show, and you just have like a faceless bad guy.
I know. I don't.
Vader this.
What's the name of the other episode 9 when whatever his name is, the other director before they brought JJ?
Trevorrow.
Yeah, Colin Trevorrow's script. He has some other villain, like Plagueis' master, or some weird not Valorum. That's
the eye when
no, not the webbish bug. Or
he trains Kylo while Rey's being trained.
Anyway, whoever he wrote that was the other master, don't bring me some weird. Let Baylan do his thing. I think he can be the evil master.
Plagueis is like over there, like, Palpatine's trying to be here. Finally, someone found me.
Oh, Palpatine, you look so well. Oh, she's dead. Let's bring him back. Plagueis, bring me Plagueis in the Acolyte. For me, that's where he belongs.
I'll bet he'll be there.
I can't wait to speculate about the Acolyte. Well, we'll get there next year. I
totally forgot that show was coming out. Oh my god.
It's going to be the best show. It's going to be hard. Ahsoka has been really up there.
Ahsoka has been sensational.
All right. Do you think Ezra's going to finish Sabine's training by helping her connect to the Force? Because we've seen now twice she trying to move things, either the cup or the stone, and she's having trouble focusing. Ezra's been there for 10 years. We know he connects with animals. He's connected with Reunited. Do you think she's going to confide in him the issues she's been having with Ahsoka? He'll be able to break that wall and help her connect with the Force.
I think he could. I think that could be like a fun story thread to pull on. I'm expecting Ezra to be like Super Sen at this point, and she being like, "Oh, here's like your lightsaber, and I don't need lightsabers," and just like levitates the rocks like Kenobi, and just like, this is how I fight. Like,
throws
a naughty like over to Thrawn.
Just turns them into those rocks and just shove them in.
Yeah.
Naughty. I think. Are we getting him shaving? We already got Sabine cutting her hair. She's gonna do the old shave, getting ready to go.
I don't think he wants to shave. He's cut his hair and hasn't shaved, so
he looks good.
Maybe he doesn't want it.
All right, and then finally, we already talked a little bit about this, about Shin. She seemed concerned about Sabine when they say go kill her. I don't want to say she'll turn to the light, but that relationship still, I don't know. Like you said, at first few episodes, she was anger incarnate, and now she's a little bit more controlled. So it's going to be interesting to see where she falls at the end. What you got? Roberto said Ezra's helping Sabine connect with the Force through sex, maybe.
Yes. And that's how we get Freddie Prinze back.
Yeah. Freddie Prinze.
I was joking, like, the minute he saw her, he was probably like a sister, you dummy. Like, no.
All right, Oti, another great episode of Ahsoka. You mentioned, I think it was on Twitter, you said, maybe here, I think it was on Twitter, you said that Ahsoka's there with Kenobi in terms of Star Wars TV shows so far for you. 2 episodes left. I don't know. I don't even know what to expect. I don't even want to think about the finale right now. But
I don't know what to expect, but I'm on board for the ride. And yeah. I don't have to speculate. I have theories, but I'm on board to whatever David Filoni has.
You're on board for the ride, just not here next week.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be here next week.
All right, so
unless you want to record like beforehand,
we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. I don't know. All right, I think that brings an end to an episode today. A lot of cool stuff to talk about. Enoch and all the weird things happening out there.
We're also leaving, Roberto. Don't worry about it.
All right, Roberto. We'll see you next week if you're in the chat. We gotta get Roberto back here one of these days.
I miss him.
Show. Yeah. All right. Oti, who was out there? Let me put my music a little bit. Let me just lower it a little.
Thank you to Roberto, to Alan, to Tony, to Mo, who was in the chat. Oh, no Dale and no Brennan. That was disappointing.
I know. I was missing them today, but that's fine. We'll get them next week. When they get here, we'll just block them out. All right. Everyone follow Oti Peridea Folk Music. There we go. Oti, you're still working with Tony on the Ahsoka Tano theme music.
Ahsoka!
All right, guys. Thanks for being here. We'll be back next week as we talk Ahsoka episode 7. Maybe we'll record earlier. I'm not sure. We'll have a guest host. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll just be me. We'll figure that out next week. Stay safe. Be safe. And add a Thrawn comment down below. See you later.